Everyone, before we go any further and get into the rest of my picks, completely forgot to talk about the first four games, so that's what I'm going to go ahead and do now. First one, Howard versus Wagner. Winner plays UNC. I've got Howard over Wagner in this one. Give me Gus Johnson, the Bison, to win. Next game, we've got an interesting one here. UVA against Colorado State. I think that the Rams upset Virginia. They've just struggled in the Quad 1 games. Meanwhile, CSU with a much better record. Give me the Rams. Next game, Montana State Grambling. Another 16-1 matchup. Winner plays Purdue. I'm going to take Grambling to win this one over the Bobcats. In the next game, we've got Florida playing the winner of Boise State, Colorado. Give me Boise State. I think they, again, have a better Quad 1 resume than Colorado. They move on to play Florida. Enjoy the rest of the video. It is time. March Madness is here. And man, should it be a good one. Anthony Sorgi from Sorgi Stories here with you as this is being filmed on the afternoon of the first four games. And man, I'm just so excited to watch the games from now through the rest of March and all the way to April 8th in Phoenix at State Farm Stadium. This should be great. I'm here to tell you all about what I think is going to happen this March Madness. So let's go ahead and get into it, starting with the East. That number 1 seed, the defending national champions, UConn, playing Stetson. I think this is an easy win for the Huskies. Next game, FAU Northwestern. Close one here. FAU obviously made the Final Four last year, but Northwestern has so much more Quad 1 experience compared to FAU's 2-2 record. Only 4 games there for them compared to all of Northwestern's Big Ten big game experience. Give me the Wildcats. Next, San Diego State UAB. I think San Diego State pulls this one out against the Blazers. We saw them make the Final Four last year as well. I think they go on a run this year. Maybe back-to-back, who knows? Auburn against Yale. Yale beat Brown. I don't think they can beat the Tigers. Give me Auburn. I thought Duquesne was going to upset BYU, and then I saw BYU's Quad 2 record and said, I am taking the Cougars, going BYU in that one. Illinois Morehead State. The Illini are on a roll. I think they keep it up. Give me Illinois. And then Washington State Drake. This is a very interesting matchup. Washington State, I would pick to go pretty far in March Madness if they were not playing Drake. I have the Bulldogs here. Then Iowa State, South Dakota State in Omaha. Give me the Cyclones. Sorry, Jackrabbit Nation, but we're taking Iowa State. Then we go to the second round here. Number 1 versus number 9. Give me UConn. I don't think Northwestern can withstand UConn's incredible play. They beat Purdue. I don't think they can do it against the Huskies. And then next, we've got San Diego State Auburn. A very interesting matchup here. Auburn's Quad 1 record, they have really struggled in Quad 1 games. That is why I'm taking San Diego State in that one. Then BYU Illinois, the 6-3, very interesting matchup here. I'm going to say Illinois stays on a roll. As I mentioned with the last round, I think they stay hot going into the Sweet 16. And Drake, Iowa State. I think this Drake team has something special in them. John Fanta talked about it, and I'm talking about it now as well. Give me Drake. Now to the Sweet 16. These 4 teams, I think, make it to the second weekend out of the East. It's UConn San Diego State, a rematch of the national championship last year. I think it goes the same way it did. Give me UConn. And then Illinois versus Drake. I think that Drake shuts down Illinois and moves on up to the Elite Eight. UConn, Drake, you will see in a few moments who wins that game. But next, we look at the South. The number 1 seed, Houston, against Longwood. Longwood seems pretty consistent here. They've been making the tournament more and more. I've got Houston, though. Nebraska, Texas A&M. Buzz Williams' squad has showed that they can win in big games. Squad 1 record, I think, of 7-7. Give me the Aggies. Next game, Wisconsin, James Madison. James Madison, the winningest team in college hoops this year. I think tied with UConn, maybe. I'm going to go with them to beat the Badgers. Close game, entertaining game. Tune in for that one. Duke Vermont, another. I mean, not really that interesting if we're going to be honest. Vermont played Marquette close last year, the 2-15. I think they played Duke close to kind of 10-point win for Duke. Then NC State, they had quite the week in DC at Capital One Arena, winning the ACC tourney, finishing it off with a win over UNC. I've got Texas Tech, though, ending their win streak. Kentucky, Oakland. Kentucky, a lot of pressure on this team. Rob Dillingham and company. Reed Shepherd as well. They are explosive. Give me Kentucky to beat Oakland. Then Florida, Boise State, the battle of the orange and the blue. Go Gators in this one. I think Florida moves on to the second round of the Marquette, Western Kentucky. My Marquette squad, I don't think they face any issues in this one. Give me Marquette to move on. Now to the second round, Houston A&M, the battle of Texas here. I'm taking Houston to stay on a roll. Next game, James Madison, Duke. Let's go JMU, baby. I've got JMU moving on to the Sweet 16 second weekend. Now, who will move on here? It's a very interesting matchup. Texas Tech, Kentucky. I think the Red Raiders use their Big 12 experience, the toughest conference in college hoops. I think they use that and beat Kentucky. Great teams on both sides, but I think Texas Tech gets the win. And Florida Marquette, close game here. Florida made it to the SEC championship, but I think Marquette pulls it out and moves on to the Sweet 16 for what feels like the first time in forever. Sweet 16 now. Houston, James Madison. James Madison, as you can see, I think they'll be hot, but so will Houston. Big 12 runner-ups. Regular season champs, though, tournament runner-ups. I think they get a W here. Texas Tech, Marquette. Great game between these two schools. It will be, but we are Marquette. Houston, Marquette in the Elite Eight. Find out who wins in a moment. Now to the game between Purdue and Grambling, kicking off the Midwest region. Purdue in Indianapolis, I'm pretty sure, playing Grambling. Sorry, Grambling. A lot of respect for that program, but I think Purdue and Zach Edey get the win, unlike what they did last year against FDU, being the second team ever to get upset in the first round. Utah State, TCU. I think this one should be quite competitive, but give me, again, the Big 12 team to win in the first round. Next, Gonzaga, McNeese. 5 versus 12 matchup. Gonzaga, we see them in the tournament a lot. I don't think we see them for much longer this year. They'll have to wait until 2025 to get back when Will Wade and McNeese knock them off. Next, we've got Kansas and Stanford. Don't see this as much of a game. Kansas struggled as of late, but I'm taking them to win the 4-13. Next, South Carolina, Oregon. South Carolina, I don't feel too good about them, but I feel a lot better about the Pac-12 champs. Oregon wins. Creighton, Akron. This should be not too much of a game. Give me the Blue Jays to advance. Next, Texas, Colorado State. I don't see Texas going very far here. Give me the Rams out of the first 4, getting to the second round. And next, we all love St. Peter's, but sorry, Peacocks. Give me Tennessee in the win, but watch for an upset in that one. You never know when St. Pete's is in the tourney. Purdue, TCU. I'm taking Purdue. Sorry, Horned Frog Nation, but got to go with the 1 seed here. Next, we've got McNeese and Kansas. As I said, Kansas not too hot as of late. Give me McNeese in tight game. I think they pull away at the end and grab a W. Oregon-Creighton, very interesting 11-3 game here. I think it's competitive, down to the wire. I think the Blue Jays win with Ryan Kalkbrenner and company coming up big. Moving on to the second weekend. Another team moving on to the second weekend will be Tennessee and Colorado, or Tennessee over Colorado State in that 2-10 matchup. I think Colorado State's run ends there. Now on to the second weekend. Purdue and McNeese. Upset alert here, folks. I think McNeese gets the job done and beats Purdue. Another failure I see for the Boilermakers this March. Creighton, Tennessee. This is going to be a great game between the SEC's great Volunteers team and the dominating Blue Jays who beat UConn. Don't forget about that in the regular season. I am taking the team out of the CHI Health Center in Omaha. Give me Creighton. McNeese Creighton in the Elite Eight again. Wait one moment. We're going to get through the West, and then we'll talk about that one. Let's talk about Howard and North Carolina first. Gus Johnson, I don't see them getting very far. Give me UNC. Mississippi State, Michigan State. Tom Izzo, 3-9 in the quad one against Mississippi State, who is 4-9. I think Michigan State pulls it out in the battle of the MSUs. St. Mary's Grand Canyon, a little West Coast action here. WAC versus WCC. I got to go Gales here. The Bay Area proud here with this win from St. Mary's over GCU. Next, Alabama, Charleston. Again, as I said with BYU Duquesne, I was going to pick Charleston. Then I looked at Alabama's quad 2 record and said, yeah, they're beating Charleston in this one. Give me Bama. Next, Clemson, New Mexico. New Mexico puts up a fight, but go Tigers in this one. Baylor, Colgate, not much of a game here. Give me the Bears. Dayton, Nevada, interesting matchup. A10, Mountain West, two very underrated conferences in the mid-major section. But Nevada, 6-6 in the quad one. Give me them to get a W. And last first-round matchup, Arizona, Long Beach State. What a story out of Long Beach State. Sorry, guys, I got to go Arizona in this one. 8-3 in the quad one. I think they dominate this game. Now to the second round. It's in Charlotte, yes, but Tom Izzo usually doesn't lose at the second game of a weekend. MSU and Sparty move on. Then we've got St. Mary's, Alabama. Tight game here. But Alabama a lot better in the quad 2 than they are in the quad 1. St. Mary's, meanwhile, 5-3 in the quad 1. Give me the Gales to move on to the second weekend. Clemson, Baylor. Another great game. Baylor 10-9. 19 games in the quad 1 compared to Clemson's 5-5. That's 10 games in the quad 1. I'm going Baylor. Nevada, Arizona, another West Coast, really not West Coast, but, somewhat close to the West Coast matchup between these two teams. I think Arizona gets it done, moves on to the Sweet 16. Now we've got Michigan State against St. Mary's. I think Sparty comes up big, again, uses that Big Ten experience, and gets a W over St. Mary's. Baylor, Arizona, great game here, I think, between the Pac-12 and the Big 12. I've got the 2 seed, Michigan State, Arizona. Who will win that? Well, first of all, we have to talk about that East region. I had UConn and Drake. I'm taking the defending national champions to get a W there. Then Michigan State, that game I just talked about against Arizona. Again, second game of the weekend. That means second round, Elite Eight, national championship. I think they beat the team from Tucson in the Wildcats. Give me Michigan State to move on to the national championship. Then to the South region, I've got Marquette beating Houston in what might be the best game of the tournament. It will be tight. It will go down to the wire. It will be nerve-wracking, but I think my Golden Eagles get it done against the Cougars. And next, I had Creighton against McNeese. I think their Cinderella run, as well as Drake's, ends right here. Give me Creighton. As you can see, the stage is set. 4 teams go to UConn. 3 are out of the Big East, 1 out of the Big Ten. What a win for the Big East this is, considering their odds are 3 of 4 that they win the national championship in this case. But starting with the team that isn't from the Big East, Michigan State, against the team that is, again, the defending national champs, the overall #1 seed, the Big East regular season champs, the Big East tournament champions, the UConn Huskies. I think they advance to the final. Next game, Marquette-Creighton. They split the season series. Creighton could not get to the Big East semis where they would have played Marquette because of their loss to Providence in the Big East tournament at MSG. I'm taking Marquette to win this one. Now, the national championship. It will be meeting number 4 on the year between Marquette and UConn. We saw UConn blow out Marquette in Stores. We saw a tight game in Milwaukee. We saw them pull away the Huskies again. Yes, winning in Milwaukee, and then at MSG, pulling away, getting a win. No Tyler Kolek in those last 2 matchups I may mention. In this matchup, Marquette will probably have Tyler Kolek and be fully healthy, other than the loss of Sean Jones. He's out for the year with an ACL. I hate to say it, Marquette Nation. I would love to see Shaka Smart, Tyler Kolek, Oso, and Gadaro hoisting up that trophy. But I have to go UConn to go 4-0 against Marquette. The Huskies, your 2024 national champions. What a March it will be. Who knows if I'll be right? Who knows who will bust some brackets? I cannot wait to see what happens. We will be back with you soon, live on Sorgy Stories, hopefully sometime this weekend to talk some college hoops or whatever it may be. But until then, linktree.com/Sorgy Stories for all our social media. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell. Ding, ding, ding. I am Anthony. Thank you for watching, and we are Marquette.